I see good Tesla stock news today. As a long-term Tesla stock investor, take a look at this. I saw quite a few people talking about this, but I don't think everyone understands really what this actually means. This is an SEC filing from Tom Zhu. Tom is likely to be the next in line to be the CEO of Tesla if Elon was to resign, which I don't think Elon is resigning, at least for another 5 or maybe even 10 years. I think he is sticking with Tesla for a long time. But obviously, Tom knows a lot about Tesla. He is an insider. And take a look at this. These are Tesla shares, and that's actually a lot of money. Altogether, this is over $60 million. Specifically, what you see in that filing are Tesla stock options that have now been vested, meaning you can exercise some of these and you can now actually sell these shares and make money, basically. Specifically, he's able to sell 1/48th of all of this, and he will be able to sell the remaining amount fully by April 1st of 2027. Every single month, 1/48th of this whole portfolio becomes sellable. And there are some Tesla board members that sell their Tesla stock as soon as their options vest and they become exercisable, but not Tom Zhu. And Tom Zhu, probably out of all of the Tesla executives, he has, if not the most knowledge, certainly he has just as much knowledge as pretty much everyone else or anyone else. In April, we got this form from Tom Zhu, which revealed that he owns about $300 million worth of Tesla stock options, most of which, by the way, can already be exercised. And if he did exercise everything, he would end up with about $250 million. And yet, he is not selling any of his Tesla stock. I mean, you would suspect that he is not exactly diversified, and wouldn't you want to diversify your net worth a little bit and sell some Tesla stock, buy a few houses, go on a few vacations maybe? No, Tom is committed to Tesla. He's not selling anything. So to me, as a long-term Tesla stock investor, this is fantastic news. Interestingly, Ross Gerber is increasing his Tesla stock allocation again. Alexandra put together the results from the shareholder meeting in terms of how many people voted against certain board of directors, and only 5% voted against Elon Musk, only 14% voted against JB Straubel, who is a co-founder of Tesla, by the way, and 25% of shareholders voted against Robin. Clearly, Elon Musk and JB Straubel have full support of Tesla shareholders. Although Robin did worse this time than the last time. I think some Tesla stock investors are not happy that the board was not as hands-on with Elon Musk and him not paying as much attention to Tesla perhaps as he did before, because he was busy with all of this Twitter drama. And we did have some Twitter drama today. Ron DeSantis was supposed to announce his run for the presidency of the US, and I tried joining the Twitter space and I couldn't, and most people couldn't. The space crashed. But later, the Twitter space continued, and then it was working for me, and only moments later, it stopped working for me. It appears that Elon is going to be a little bit busy with Twitter servers. I think for Twitter spaces, another thing that, one reason why I don't really like joining Twitter spaces, I mean, if it's a live space and if I want to talk as well, sure, I will join, and I think it's great for that. But for the audience, I want video. And if this is how well the spaces already work, as in this is how popular they are, I mean, it attracted so many people. Imagine how popular it's going to be when we add video. I think for last minute meetings, audio only is great if you're not really prepared. And let's say you're sitting in a bathroom, audio is great for that. But if you are doing something where maybe you plan things in advance, then I think video adds a little bit more spice to the whole thing, and it makes it a little bit more Interesting, for example, when the Twitter space was not working, when I was trying to get back on it, I just went to YouTube and I found someone else who was listening to the space and also had video and showed other things happening at the same time. It just, I don't know, just more interactive. If I just listen to audio, if I'm doing something else, it's great. But if I just want to pay attention to the thing, then audio just doesn't really do it for me. Which really makes me wonder, how successful will Twitter be once they actually start adding a lot of features that are going to be extremely valuable to creators as well as to people on Twitter who consume content. But I think Twitter is definitely heading in the right direction because Elon has introduced more functionality to Twitter in the last 6 months than the previous Twitter management has done in the last 6 years.
Are you back near profitability now?
Twitter is not quite there, but we're not like, when the acquisition closed, I'd say it's analogous to being teleported into a plane that's plunging to the ground with its engines on fire and the controls don't work.
Well, I guess some of the controls did not work today because that Twitter space did crash. However, Elon mentioned a few months ago that if you change some tiny thing, sometimes that can result in the whole system going completely down, and that actually happened a few months ago. So perhaps once the code is rewritten and is up to date to modern standards, maybe then adding new features is going to be a whole lot easier. And that's when we will really see the fast progress of Twitter.
We had to do some pretty heavy-handed cost cutting to keep the company healthy, but at this point we're trending towards, if we get lucky, we might be cash flow positive next month.
As a Tesla stock investor, I love hearing that Twitter is going to be profitable next month because Twitter being profitable means Elon Musk is not going to sell any more Tesla stock to fund Twitter.
Is the staffing the level you now want it, or are you going to start taking it back up again from this? It's gone from, I think, 8,000 to about 1,500 or something like that. Is that correct?
That's roughly correct, yeah. I think there's definitely, we are going to start adding people to the company, and we have started adding some number of people to the company, but there's still a lot of change to happen. But I think 1,500 is probably a reasonable number.
I have been thinking. Twitter went from 8,000 to now 1,500 employees. Tesla has over 100,000 employees. I think the culture inside of Tesla is also somewhat similar, which means that for you to really effectively compete with Tesla, likely you will need to have a lot more than 100,000 employees. In the CNBC interview with Elon, David Faber said that there are tech executives looking at what Elon did with Twitter and they are jealous. Don't you think some auto executives also look at Tesla and say, oh, we wish we were this effective at managing people?
There's a potential for significant cuts, I think, at other companies without affecting their productivity, in fact, increasing their productivity.
Elon was specifically talking about companies located in Silicon Valley, but that's quite a thought. Less people, but the total productivity of the company goes up? That's insane, but that's exactly what happened to Twitter. And that's just one reason why I like having Elon as our CEO.
We're gung-ho about releasing functionality, even at a little bit of risk to site stability, so long as it's not too serious. And I think at this point it's probably fair to say we've introduced more functionality in the last 6 months than Twitter has in the last 6 years.
Speaking of gains, did you guys see Nvidia today jumped up 25% in the after hours? That's well over $100 billion added to their market cap. Crazy. With Elon focused on Tesla now, maybe we can do the same for Tesla stock as well one of these days. I think the moment it's apparent that full self-driving is going to be solved, Tesla stock is going to jump more than 25%.
And in terms of outages, there were some outages early on. Are you confident things are stable now?
Well, outages are not unusual. Instagram recently had an outage, for example. It was reported on Twitter, ironically. So we've had outages, but not massive ones, and they've generally been brief and limited in scope.
And today was a little bit of a hiccup as well, but hopefully this is going to be the last major hiccup with Twitter Spaces. After all, they fixed the whole thing, and now you can go and listen to the recording if you so choose to. In this video, I talk more about Tesla starting to advertise. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.